Hello again everyone, it's Mystery Pony Fiction here again for the next stage in the process of creating this audiobook. So let's start with the intro again.
It's the Mystery Pony Fiction channel. Mystery. Also available as a podcast on Spotify. Pony. And Izzy Moonbow is best pony, by the way. Fiction. Bro hoof.
Let's
comment,
not forget Moonsong is a new supporter.
Ring that bell.
Okay, now I'm going to need to display capture. Whoops, wrong one. Gonna need to go to full screen display capture. I've got the YouTube chat down here in case someone decides to talk to me during it. But hopefully I'll be able to get really focused and right into it. Now I've got about probably 3 hours till I've got to get ready. 4 hours till I've got to get ready for work. Out of the live streams that I've done, this is likely to be the longest because this is the longest and most tedious part of doing this. So I'm not sure how interesting it will be to watch, but I just think it would be cool to have at least one series of videos that show the full process of creating an audiobook. And then after that, I can leave those there as a series and just not do that anymore. Go back to just being able to not have to explain the process and just go back to normal. I just think it'd be a good idea to have at least one series, which it looks like is going to be in 5 parts because there is the reading, then the generating the music, then the then this part, the audio editing, and then the video editing. So is that 4 parts? Anyway, let's just get right into it and start audio editing this audiobook of the Ballad of Smarty Pants. The Ballad of Smarty Pants, written by Shakespeare-Ecles. Yep, I know. Shakespeare-Ecles. Shakespeare. Let's fix that. Shakespeare-Ecles. Let me try to get that right. Now I've got to edit out the little comments I made during the stream because people might have been listening. Okay. The Ballad of Smarty Pants, written by Shakespeare-Ecles. Oh, I'd never actually say written by. For some reason I was on some different film fiction page where it actually had the word written by. To be consistent with how I've done my videos for years, let's get rid of Smarty Pants, written by... Let's get rid of that word written to be consistent. Of Smarty Pants by Shakespeare. Bit less of a pause there. By Shakespeare-Ecles. Author's note. Warning. Feels ahead. And now let's bring in whatever I decide the first music to be. So let's have a look at the story. I'm recording right. The story. So we're going to start with a nice positive vibe. Probably the childhood vibe ones. to listen to the start of these to decide which is a good intro. Oh, are these in reverse order? Okay, they're in reverse order, so the one at this end is the... Hang on, there's one missing. There's bracket 9 to 1. There's one missing that I didn't move over. Story, the Ballad of Smarty Pants 1, without the one bracket. Okay, I think I'd like to start with that one. There should be room for it to start with a bit of a more generic song before I go into those nice songs that were about childhood, I think. We'll see how it all fits together. So I'm always, for the sake of consistency, and so that when I create a compilation of all of my readings and put them together, I always have +8 decibels, because I think my microphone... Yeah, I've explained it before. My name is Smarty Pants. And I'm going to have the audio... Now, it's fairly low impact audio, so normally I'd go down to 27 when it's a bit louder, but I think I'll just go down to 25 because it's a soft song that I don't think will get in the way too much. Warning, feels ahead. Okay, yeah, I started off at about 75% volume. Warning, feels ahead. Let's have it fade into the reading here at about 25, minus 25 decibels. My name is Smarty Pants. I don't remember when I was made. My earliest memory is... Okay, hang on, gotta get my tapper for when I make a mistake. My name is Smarty Pants. My name is Smarty Pants. I don't remember when I was made. My earliest memory is when I first met my best friend. Her name is Twilight Sparkle, and I want to tell you all about her. Her mother introduced us. When I first met Twilight, she was still very young. She was still in diapers, but that was okay. I liked her anyway. I was still excited to meet her. I practically jumped out of her mother's hooves. Twilight gave me a big hug as soon as we met. She didn't say anything. She was still too young to speak words, but she didn't have to. Her hug told me everything I needed to know. We were going to be best friends forever. We were inseparable. Wherever she went, I went. She would show me the new food she would try. She would tell me the new world she would learn. She was a good teacher. When she was happy, she would... I think I could have a little bit of just a tiny musical interlude there. Good teacher. When she was happy, she would laugh and we would dance together. When she was sad, she would come hug me and it helped her feel less sad. When the clouds would make the scary thunder, we would hide together under the covers. I was afraid of the dark. It's okay, she said. Okay. It's okay. Bad takes. It's okay, she said. I'm as scared of the dark too. She hugged me. I would never let anything bad happen to her, and I knew she would never let anything bad happen to me. She was a good friend. I wanted to be a good student. She gave me a notebook just like the one she had when she began to write. We would learn all kinds of things together. Twilight loved to learn, and she loved to teach. She loved me, and I loved her. She was such a fast learner. In no time, she was out of her diapers. Her parents even gave her a little chalkboard so she could pretend to be a teacher. But she didn't need to pretend. She was a real teacher. Almost good timing there. What is 2 plus 2? She asked. Right. I'm going to try to do something kind of interesting with the audio here. So she could pretend to be a teacher. But she didn't need to pretend. She was a... Alright, I'm going to extend that out. Increase the volume. Like that. Let's see how that sounds. So she could pretend to be a teacher. But she didn't need to pretend. She was a real teacher. What is 2 plus 2? She asked. Okay, now I will bring in the childhood music. That's going to be the second of the generic. I think I like the second of the childhood music. And then there's this one. I'll use that one. Cut. So that I can keep track of which songs I've used and which I have left that are unused. What is 2 plus 2? She asked, writing it on the chalkboard. 4! The answer is 4! Yes, the answer is 4, she said. She helped write it in the notebook for me. Now, I was considering giving Twilight a bit of a high-pitched voice, but I know that Shakes doesn't like that. When I created another audiobook for him, he was like, please don't give young Philly Twilight Sparkle a high-pitched voice. Yes, the answer is 4, she said. So I won't. But if I were to, this is how I do it. 4! The answer is 4! I think that's what Smarty Pants is saying. Yes, the answer is 4, she said. I would go with that. Go to FX. Put in pitch shift under P. Now, on my old computer, I used to have more presets that I made, like I had a specific little girl one, but in general, you'll want to go with third up. Maybe take it down to 3. Preserve duration, speech, 3 fast. And then it should sound like a chipmunk, I guess. 4! The answer is 4! Yes, the answer is 4, she like that. But I know Shakes doesn't like that, so I'm just gonna let Twilight's voice be normal. The answer is 4. Yes, the answer is 4, she said. She helped write it in the notebook for me with the quill. I was never very good at writing it myself. I was so proud that I got the answer right. Twilight was very proud of me too. It made her happy, and that made me happy too. That's all I ever wanted, was for her to be happy. I'll never forget that day. As Twilight got a little older, she started studying even more. I was there to help, of course. She told me she was getting ready for an important test. I had taken tests before. Let's get rid of that big breath of air I took. For an important test. I had taken tests before. It's when she asks you what 2 plus 2 is, and you say 4. That's what a test is. I knew Twilight could do it. When we went outside... Small interlude. I think would be nice there. Normally I only put interludes in actual page breaks, or I mean it is at least a different paragraph maybe. I'm just doing what I think will sound nice. Where am I up to? We went outside. Yeah, so it was a different paragraph. So it's not too jarring to have a musical interlude. But I just like having them occasionally to sort of show off the music, I guess. And I just think it like flows nicely to have a bit... To have the music that's setting the mood kind of emphasized for a bit. I knew Twilight could do it. When we went outside with her parents for a walk, I loved going outside with her. I would ride in her saddlebag and look at the things outside. It didn't matter where we went, as long as I was with her, as long as I was with my best friend in the whole wide world, Twilight, it would be good. We went to a new place that day. It was big and scary. I could hear Twilight's heart beating faster from inside her bag. I didn't like being there if it scared her. I wanted to just leave and go home, where it was safe and everything was happy. But Twilight had to go here to do her test, and I wasn't about to leave her side. They brought out a big... I wasn't about to leave her side. I wasn't about to leave her side. Another small interlude, I think. They brought out a big egg and told her that she had to open it with her magic. I remember when we would cook at home and Twilight would open eggs with her hooves. She tried with her magic once or twice, but she dropped them and it made a mess on the floor. She had to clean it up after, and she had to clean it up after, and she looked sad. It's okay, you'll get it right next time. Twilight looked nervous. She had to open the egg with her magic, but it was so big. It was bigger than any egg I had ever seen before. She tried really hard, but nothing happened. I'm sorry I wasted your time, she said. Yeah, let's keep going. I'm sorry I wasted your time, she said. She looked so sad and disappointed. Time, she said. She looked so sad and disappointed. I wanted to climb out of the bag and help her, but I had always... sad and disappointed. I wanted to climb out of the bag and help her. But I always had trouble with the flap. I nearly had it, but then... Wow, that was an interesting sound there. Flap. I don't think that's necessary. But I always had trouble with the flap. Now the second childhood song. This one has a little bit more... That one was almost entirely the little... what do you call it? Xylophone? Toy xylophone feeling. Now this one I think has a bit more complex instrumentation, which I think will suit Twilight being a little bit older. But I always had trouble with the flap. I nearly had it, but then there was a loud noise. It was like thunder, but louder. I ducked back into the bag, under the covers, waiting for Twilight to join me so we could hide. I heard her yell, and I could see flashes of lightning. The thunder had gotten her. The thunder had got... I think I'm going to increase the volume of the music slightly, because it's not really coming through. I nearly had it, but then there was a loud noise. It was like thunder, but louder. I ducked back into the bag, under the covers, waiting for Twilight to join me so we could hide. I heard her yell, and I could see flashes of lightning. The thunder had gotten her! Okay, flashes of lightning. I think it's time to start bringing in some sound effects. I don't want to be too obnoxious with them. Oh man, I've got 2 YouTube chats open. Probably one from one live stream and one from the other. No one's talked to me in either of them. I'm not sure which is which. Let's just find out. Live stream and one from the other. There we go. Not that I'm probably going to see it because I've got... Well, what I think I'll do is I will change the size of my project window to a little bit less. I mean, before I was working without any of the background, with only a little bit of the background visible. Wow, is this taxing my CPU? It was a bit slow there. Ah, no, not that one. There we go. That's enough to have a little bit more visual stuff of visual interest around the border. While still allowing me to see everything that I need to see. I tried to help, but I was too scared to move. I was so ashamed that I didn't go to help her when she needed me most. But almost as soon as it happened, it was over. I peeked out of the bag. Twilight. I mean, that's a good spot for another tiny interlude. I peeked. Oh yeah, I wanted some sort of lightning sound effect. Let's keep it at 22, I think. Is this one at 22? Because I think the music is so soft it's not really coming through at all otherwise.
Over!
Now, the bit where I wanted some lightning.
Waiting for Twilight to join me so we could hide. I heard her yell, and I could see flashes of lightning. The thunder had gotten her!
Hang on.
But I always had trouble with the flap. I nearly had it, but then there was a loud noise. It was like thunder, but louder.
Okay, so this is obviously about the scene where free sound. Okay, thunder. Let's just see what I find. Now, one thing I just realized that could possibly get my other streams copyrighted is that okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn I'm learning this as I go, but I think I'm gonna have to turn the desktop audio off while I'm listening to these sound effects so that I don't get copyright claims for having them in my stream. It might already be too late for the other stream where I did it, but at least I've thought of it now. So I'm just going to describe it with my words, I guess, and try to remember to bring my desktop audio back afterwards. There's no rain. City, no, we're not in a city. Thunder 4. Maybe. Not too much. Rain ambience. Rain ambience. Rain and thunder, nope. I'll check the second page. I can kind of already tell by the waveform whether it might be appropriate. There's bird song in that, which isn't appropriate. Thunder with synth. It's a bit too long and droning. Thunderclap. Thunderclap rumble. Rain. Thunder 7. Maybe just have a quick look at page 3. Huge thunder crack. Maybe. Short thunder deep. There's a little bit of rain in that. I think I like it though. Now the question is, am I going to be able to use it? Attribution, non-commercial. Nope, I can't use that one. Thunder and seagull, no. Alright, that one I saw on the first page. I've got to try to remember which one it was now. I think it was this one. Yeah, that's the closest I can get. If I still had an Artlist subscription, I'm sure I could get something much better. But the question is, attribution 4.0. You're free to share. Now, I'm pretty sure I am okay, as long as I get the attribution text. I'm pretty sure I'm only not allowed to use it if it specifically says non-commercial. It doesn't say non-commercial there. So I'm just going to hope that I'm not going to have to demonetize my video later. And I'm going to put a set of these here to let me know which attributions go to which project. And there we go. Download sound. Into sound. Man, after only a couple of projects, I'm already getting a huge amount of files. After like 300 projects that I did on my old computer, let's just say it was a bit overwhelming. I did constantly delete old files. And it's already starting to... Alright, let's just drag and drop that in. Right, now I better remember to turn the desktop audio back on. So that you guys can hear again.
It was like thunder, but louder. I ducked back into the bag, under the covers, waiting for Twilight to join me so we could hide. I heard her yell, and I could see flashes of lightning. The thunder had gotten her!
Alright, to make this a bit more interesting, I'm going to copy this again into a second one, and I'm going to alter it slightly so that it sounds like two slightly different rolls of thunder.
Thunder, but louder. I ducked back into the bag, under the covers, waiting for Twilight.
It's not perfect, but let's make it deeper. Pitch shift. Let's see if I can make it a bit of a third down, deeper thunder sound. I guess I'll count this as an instrument. Hopefully that works.
Thunder, but louder. I ducked back into the bag, under the covers, waiting for Twilight to join me so we could hide. I heard her yell.
Oops, I accidentally made that into the same.
Louder. I ducked back into the bag, under the covers, waiting for Twilight to join me so we could hide.
It needs to be a bit louder, I think. Will help it.
Thunder, but louder. I ducked back into the bag, under the covers, waiting for Twilight to join me so we could hide.
It's not the most perfect sound effect I've ever put in an audiobook, but it will do. Now, flashes of lightning. I think I'll just leave it at that and not get too pedantic.
Join me so we could hide. I heard her yell, and I could see flash.
Oh, hang on. I didn't add the deepness to this one. Pitch shift. Okay, maybe if I go fifth down, I can have a bit more of a variety from the thunder sound before it. I'll go solo instruments too. I'm not sure what difference that makes, but maybe it'll sound different.
But louder. I ducked back into the bag, under the covers, waiting for Twilight to join.
Make that one a bit louder.
I ducked back into the bag, under the covers, waiting for Twilight to join me so we could hide. I heard her yell, and I could see flashes of lightning. The thunder had gotten her! I tried to help, but I was too scared to move. I was so ashamed that I didn't go to help her when she needed me most. But almost as soon as it happened, it was over. I peeked out of the bag, Twilight was okay, there was another tall pony there with a horn and wings. Tall pony there with a horn and wings. Her mane was shiny and wavy. Twilight started jumping around excited. Yes, 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 yes.
I said yes too many times then, and I fixed it that I said yes the amount of times that was on the page.
And excited. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. I didn't know what had happened, but the egg was open. Twilight was happy, so I was happy too. All I'd ever wanted was for her to be happy. Afterwards, Twilight picked up our bag and we went home. As soon as we got back to our bedroom, she showed me what she was so excited about. Smarty Pants, look it, she said. She had finally...
Ooh. That sounds nice. I think that's a good point for another tiny interlude because there's this bit of an accent that sounded cool there.
Look it, she said.
I just think that part of the song sounded cool, so I'd like to let it out a bit.
She had finally gotten her cutie mark. It was beautiful, just like her. She had finally gotten her cutie mark.
Hang on.
Smarty Pants, look it, she said.
Okay, what I'll do here is I'll try to have the sound effect of a cutie mark appearing. I should probably look up YouTube for some kind of reference, but first of all I could get copyright struck, but also I should just try to use my imagination or something. Magic spell. Whoa, hold on. I've got to do that thing again. You guys aren't allowed to hear this stuff. This is annoying. Obviously I wouldn't have to worry about this if I wasn't streaming. No. How does that sound like magic? What the heck? Okay, I think that was a higher pitch. Creative Commons 0. I don't have to attribute it at all. Yay. Okay, let's bring sound back to the stream again.
She said.
Make it a little longer, higher pitch, and I think it will be suitable. Bit longer. It's not as good as the stuff I used to get from Artlist. I think maybe even higher if it's going to be a bit longer. It needs to compensate for how much it's stretched out. That'll do.
She had finally gotten her cutie mark. It was...
I feel a bit unsatisfied with that. I'm kind of thinking now more of a chime sound. Chime. Now, I can't be too picky about this stuff, or this audiobook will take 25 million hours to complete. Okay, magic chime. Okay, that's good. Creative Commons 0. I think I'll get this and increase the pitch on that one a bit. You guys haven't heard it yet because I turned the volume off. I'll turn it back on. It's got a Creative Commons 0. Yeah, I guess I'll get rid of that one. Let's see.
We saw the tall pony with a horn and wings. Twilight told me that her...
Let me try to get the peak of it.
Bed. Twilight and I got on the bed and jumped up and down. She was excited and happy, so I was...
Make it a bit shorter. Make it a higher pitch.
Almost as soon as it happened, it was over. I had gotten her. I tried to help, but I was too scared to move. I was so ashamed that I didn't go to help her when she needed me most. But almost as soon as it happened, it was over. I peeked out of the bag. Twilight was okay.
A bit too drawn out. Let's see. Damn it, let's not get too fussy.
I peeked out of the bag. Twilight was okay. There was another tall pony there with a horn and wings. Her mane was shiny and wavy. Twilight started jumping around excited. Yes, 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 yes. I didn't know what had happened, but the egg was open. Twilight was happy, so I was happy too. All I'd ever wanted was for her to be happy. Afterwards, Twilight picked up our bag and we went home. As soon as we got back to our bedroom, she showed me what she was so excited about. "Smarty Pants, look it, she said. She had finally gotten her cutie mark. It was beautiful, just like her. I didn't have mine yet. "You'll get yours someday," she said, and gave me a big hug. It was okay that I didn't have a cutie mark. It was okay that I didn't have a cutie mark. She still loved me, and I loved her. One day, Twilight said we were moving, just me and her, like an adventure in her storybooks that she would read to me. She was excited. So I was excited too. We went back to the big place where she had her big test. We saw the tall pony with a horn and wings. Twilight told me that her name was Princess Celestia. Twilight liked to talk about her. She would say how pretty she was. I guess she was pretty, but I still liked Twilight better.
Okay, this is starting to come out of the childhood phase.
We got a new bedroom in the big place. A brand new bedroom and bed. Twilight and I got on the bed.
I think this is where I can use the next generic. So I've used one generic for the start. Use the second. I think this will be good for when she starts talking about Celestia. There's probably still time before we go to the next, to the adolescent phase music.
Where she had her big test. We saw the tall pony with a horn and wings. Twilight told me that her name was Princess Celestia. Twilight liked to talk about her. She would say how pretty she was. I guess she was pretty, but I still liked Twilight better. We got a new bedroom in the big place. A brand new bedroom and bed. Twilight and I got on the bed and jumped up and down. She was excited and happy, so I was too. While we were there, I met Spike. Spike is a dragon. Dragons are different from ponies. He came from the egg that Twilight opened. Twilight said that ponies don't come from eggs, so I don't think I came from an egg either. Twilight told me that we were living in a school now. A school where teachers live. Teachers and older ponies like Twilight's mum who know stuff. Twilight was a student. Students learn stuff. And Twilight loved to learn. Learning made Twilight happy, and that made me happy. Twilight went to different rooms with different teachers to learn different things. I would ride along in the bag. Twilight didn't talk to me very much in the learning rooms. She had to pay attention to the teachers. But every now and then, she would need something in her bag. And she would see me. She would need something in her bag and pay attention to the teachers. But every now and then, she would need something in her bag.
Oh, please. Okay, I did turn the audio back on.
She had to pay attention to the teachers. She would need something in her bag, and she would see me and smile. I made her happy. I was so glad that I could make her happy.
Oh, there might already be a point for an intermission here.
Intermission.
Yeah.
One day we were going.
So there's not much of the song left. I think this is a good time for a large intermission because there's an actual paragraph break. I could make her happy. So time for... Have I had any other significant breaks? No. So it's at this point that I think it's a good idea to just let a nice long musical interlude play out of the rest of that song.
And smile. I made her happy. I was so glad that I could make her happy.
And then let's bring it in. I guess we're going into the adolescent phase of, which I think was the next There were 2 childhood ones, and then we start going into what I asked Suno for: a lonely, dark, forgotten moments, emotional reunion. Okay, so the next one's going to be dark. So instead I'm going to use more generic one of the generic ones I generated at the end. I don't want the dark and lonely ones yet. I want the 2 most recent ones. I think I'll go with that one. Because this is a bit more of a normal part of the story before it gets too sad, I think.
One day we were going to a special room called a lab. Twilight.
Should I have that? I think I'll have the music have a little bit of a start.
One day we were going to a special room called a lab. Twilight had a special box of toys for the lab called tools. But on the way there, the box opened and one of the tools cut my hoof. It hurt. My stuffing started to fall out. I wanted to call out to her, but Twilight told me we had to be quiet in the learning rooms or else she would get in trouble. I didn't want her to get in trouble, so I stayed quiet. I was so scared. As the bag moved and shifted, more of my stuffing fell out and got lost inside the bag. I cried, but I cried quietly. I didn't want to get her in trouble.
Guess the music's decently appropriate. It's starting to get a bit dark, but I think not that dark yet.
But I cried quietly. I didn't want to get her in trouble. I don't know where we were, but I think Twilight must have heard the tools clattering loose inside the bag.
The music is a little bit louder now, so I think I'll go down to 25.
But I think Twilight must have heard the tools clattering loose inside the bag. She opened the bag to gather them up and she saw me. She froze and put a hoop over her hoop over her mouth. She was sad. She started to cry. Her tears fell on my cheeks. She quickly put the tools back in the box and made extra sure that it was closed. She closed the bag and I could feel her running. I could hear her hooves striking the ground quickly.
I could hear her. Okay, hang on.
She started to cry. Her tears fell on my cheeks.
I just want to hear the context for this because I might have a sound effect idea.
She opened the bag to gather them up and she saw me. She froze and put her hoof over her mouth. She was sad. She started to cry. Her tears fell on my cheeks. She quickly put the tools back in the box and made extra sure that it was closed. She closed the bag and I could feel her running. I could hear her hooves striking the ground quickly.
All right. Hoop steps is what I think it's time for here. Free sound. Make sure I don't let any copyrighted sounds be heard by you guys. Now we're going to want hooves to probably do it. Or gallop. Gallop. Oh, there was one that said clatter of hooves. Yeah, that's no. Clatter of hooves too. There's too much background noise of people talking. spinny hooves. Hooves on dirt. Horse munching. 6 horse gallop. Yeah, that works. There's not any background crap. Now here's the question, is it free? Attribution non-commercial. Nope, can't use it. Damn it. Horse running. That sounds nothing like, what? That sounds like bubble wrap. Hooves on metal hooves. What the? Clatter of hooves. Okay, that might work because she's at school, isn't she? I think it mentioned that she was at school. Was she at school? Was she running from school? Special room called a lab, so we're definitely at school here. So, I think this sound effect will be appropriate because there's probably some ponies in the background chatting or something. I just really want to use that sound. Uh-oh, which one was it again? Yeah, okay. And Creative Commons 0, thank you. Whew. Okay, musical interlude. And put that hoop sound with slightly elevated music. And I think that should sound pretty cool. Wonder if I've gotten any views on this video. One view, probably my own view. Oh well, maybe people will watch this later. Okay, well it's time for new music. I think I'll use the second of the number 9. Is similar, I think. So it's kind of sad, but we're saving the super sad music for a bit longer still. Remember? Let's accent that with a small... I think I like to emphasize the 2 plus 2 equals 4 line. I think the music's slightly too loud. It sounded fine while I was listening to it. Okay, intermission. Major scene break. Let's have a look. Glad that I can make her happy. Big scene break. One day we'll go into a special. Oh, that's already happened. Seemed like she needed it more anyway. As Twilight got older, she learned more. Okay. Are things getting sad yet? No, I think I'm gonna need... maybe an adolescent state. Okay. Need a new prompt for when Twilight starts making new friends and as an adolescent. Hang on. What point is this? It's part of the show, so she's basically an adult. New friends as an adult and starts to I forgot to turn the audio back on. So I guess you've just been hearing my voice. Alright. That sucked. Okay, I need a new prompt when Twilight starts making new friends as an adult and starts to spend less time acknowledging. Perfect when drifting away. Bittersweet. Okay. Sorry about forgetting to turn the audio off after looking for sound effects. It just so hard to keep switching back and forth. This is the kind of censorship that all this copyright crap causes, you know? Cool, I like that. It's not quite as sad as the sad bit, but feels a bit more like of a neutral. It says melancholic. Melancholic muted piano, gentle ambient pads, wistful. It sounds appropriate enough. Just gotta wait for it to generate. I think tiredness is starting to come on. It's nearly 5 p.m. and I have to go to work at midnight. There's probably going to be consequences with how tired I'll be at work. I'm meant to have a afternoon nap so that I can be alert at work, but I don't know. I got another 9 new subscribers since the 27 I got yesterday. And I've just got this feeling like YouTube is currently my obsession. And it's all I can think about. I tried to sit down and play some Final Fantasy VII, but it felt boring. Like I'm having more fun working on my YouTube channel. I've come back from a 3-week hiatus, and now I'm enjoying a couple of days of like just being obsessed with YouTube again, especially with a huge influx of what the heck? Why is there only one picture of a book? Oh, what happened? I thought refreshing it would get it done faster. I thought it was 2 pictures of a book. Is this also... No, this is melancholic. What happened? Where did it go? Fine, I guess I'll generate 3 of them then. I don't know what happened there. There starts to be parts of our video editing that can get frustrating. Oh, Ballad of Smarty Pants. Since I'm starting now, I've got to manually put in what number I'm up to. So Ballad of Smarty Pants, number 9. I've got to put in the bracket 10 myself manually. And then from then on, god damn it, I've got to fix the title again. We're starting to get to the frustrating stage of video editing. Some details. Oh, it created these two songs with no style tags, so I'm going to get rid of both of them. Whoa, I nearly deleted the good one. Okay, why did it generate them with no custom instrumental? That's why. Is this one instrumental? Okay, I'm starting to make mistakes. Instrumental. No, now I've got that copied instead of that copied. Put all that extra space. Now they're untitled again. Oh my god. I meant Celestia. Okay. This one is good, at least, as far as I know. Ballad of Smarty Pants. This was number 10. I'll overwrite it. I probably already saved it, but I've lost track now. I'm just going to go back to where I remember. Tiredness is starting to set in. I'm going to have a shit day at work. Let's not refresh the page again and lose something somehow. What does it sound like? Decent length to it. I think 3 segments of music should be enough until the part where it gets sad. Ballad of Smarty Pants 11. Ballad of Smarty Pants 12. Maybe I accidentally thumbs down the other one with the book. But oh well, these two with the tree are the same prompts. Just waiting. How long has this stream been going for now? An hour 15. An hour 15, and I've gotten through about a fourth of the total story. I guess that's kind of what I expected. Oh, the last one is long. Okay, Ballad of Smarty Pants 12, Ballad of Smarty Pants 13. Now maybe at some point I'm going to... I swore, I knew it. I pressed the open button, not the play button. It always does it at least once. Okay, 10, 11, 12, 13. Which one was the one with the book? That was 10. I think I like that one the best. Alright, let's get on with things.
More tests. She started talking to Spike more often than me.
Okay, hang on.
I don't really like lollies, so I let her have it. She seemed like she needed it more anyway.
It's time for a long musical interlude for the change between chapters or page breaks, right? Right. Didn't need it more anyway.
As Twilight got older, she learned more. We would stay up late with Spike, and she would read bigger books with bigger words. The stories didn't make as much sense, and they were kind of boring. But Twilight said that it was very important that she remember them for more tests. She started talking to Spike more often than me, especially when she started talking too. I was never much of a talker myself. I was more of a listener. I was happy that Twilight had another friend. The tall one, Celestia, kept saying that she needed more friends. I didn't need any more friends. Twilight was all I needed.
I think that's a good spot for a bit of a musical accent to that. Twilight was all I needed. Bit of a contemplative moment there. What volume have I got it at? 22. Bring it down to 24.
When she got a letter from Celestia to go to Ponyville for the Summer Sun celebration, she packed only the things that she knew she needed in her luggage. She was finishing up and she saw me on the bed in my usual spot. She picked me up and hugged me. She loved to hug me. She put me in my special place in a saddlebag for when we went on adventures together. I didn't know where Ponyville was, but it was someplace new. But it was someplace new that we had never been before. So that made it an adventure. And away we went into the unknown. Away we went together.
Away we went together. Away we went together. Small interlude, but I'm near the end of that track, so...
Twilight met a lot of new ponies in Ponyville, but there were a few that she saw more often than others.
Okay, so there's a bit of an ending sound to that song. Let's just get it to roll straight into the next one.
A lot of new ponies in Ponyville, but there were a few that she saw more often than others. She went on new adventures with them, sometimes with me in her bag, sometimes not. But that was okay. I didn't mind waiting. Twilight always came home to me. I would always be waiting for her on her new bed, or somewhere else nearby the book place in Ponyville that we lived in. Later, she got a special house just for me that she called a trunk. It was dark in there. I was afraid of the dark. There were a lot of other things with me in the trunk, important things that she didn't want to lose, so I was in charge of guarding them. I took my job very seriously, even if it meant seeing Twilight less and less, and being alone in the dark.
And being alone in the dark.
Yes, and being alone in the dark. Being alone in the dark. Twilight didn't go to the learning rooms anymore or see teachers, but she still loved to read in the dark.
Hang on, I've got an idea. Free sound. Please don't... I hope I don't forget to turn this back up again. Crickets. Or night ambience. Night ambience. Although she's in the dark, so... am I overthinking this? Light, ambience, nature. Nature. Okay, I think that's the effect I'm going for. Creative Commons 0, great. Let's turn it back on before I forget. Oh.
And being alone in the dark. Twilight didn't go to the learning rooms anymore or see teachers, but she still loved to read the books in our new home and learn new things. She would, yes, and being alone in the dark.
I hope this is appropriate.
There were a lot of other things with me in the trunk, important things that she didn't want to lose, so I was in charge of guarding them. I took my job very seriously, even if it meant seeing Twilight less and less, and being alone in the dark.
I think it works.
Twilight didn't go to the learning rooms anymore or see teachers, but she still loved to read the books in our new home and learn new things. She would always write letters to Celestia, telling her what she learned. Except for that one time when she didn't. She was so worried that she hadn't anything to write about. She seemed so upset that she didn't learn any. She seemed so upset that she didn't learn anything new. She opened the trunk. I was so happy to see her, but she seemed so distraught. She needed something to write to Celestia about that she learned. I had my notebook opened. I said, 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 = 4. Remember, Twilight? You taught me that. So we can pretend that I'm the teacher and you can be the student. Just for pretend. And you can tell Celestia that you learned that 2 + 2 = 4.
I think I'd like to put a bit of an emphasis on that by cutting the music.
I said, 2 + 2 = 4. I said, 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 = 4. Remember, Twilight? You taught me that. So we can pretend that I'm the teacher and you can be the student. Just for pretend. And you can tell Celestia that you learned that 2 + 2 = 4. You were so proud of me when I learned that. She'll be proud of you. She'll be proud of you. She'll be proud of you. Just tell her 2 + 2 = 4. If I can't find a friendship problem, I'll make a friendship problem, Twilight said. The notebook only had If I can't find a friendship problem, I'll make a friendship problem, Twilight said. The notebook only had... My notebook only had a math problem. I hadn't seen Twilight in so long. I was really hoping she would give me a hug, but she didn't. But that was okay. We went outside together. It was going to be an adventure. Together, just like before. It was going to be an adventure, all right. She introduced me to some of her friends. She had never done that before, aside from Spike a long time ago. Before, the only time I spent with Twilight was when we were alone. But that was okay. I wasn't interested in her friends anyway. It was going...
I'm getting OCD about whether I turned the volume back on again.
We went outside together. It was going to be an adventure. Together, just like before. It was going to be an adventure, all right. She introduced me to some of her friends. But that was okay. I wasn't interested in her friends anyway. I only wanted to be with Twilight. This is Smarty Pants, Twilight said. She was mine when I was your age, and now I want to give her to you. What? She held me there in the air with her magic as the other three ponies looked at me. They were younger, like Twilight used to be. She's great. Yeah, great. I really like her mane. They looked nice enough.
See, I'm kind of wondering if I should bring in some different kind of music for the CMC being introduced. But I think I'm starting to overthink it now.
They looked nice enough, but I wanted to stay with Twilight. Why didn't she want me anymore? I did a good job guarding her things in the trunk, even though it was dark and scary, even though I wanted to sleep with her in the bed. I did what she wanted, and now she was getting rid of me. Why? She even comes with her own notebook. She even comes with her own notebook. She even comes with her own notebook. She even comes with her own notebook and quill for when you want to pretend that she's doing her homework, Twilight said. So who wants to play with her first? The others didn't seem like they wanted to play with me, but that was okay. I just wanted to stay with Twilight. If they didn't want me, she would take me back and we could... She would take me back and we could be friends again. If they didn't want me, she would take me back and we could... She would take me back. She would take me back and we could be friends again. Then she could write to Celestia about how we became friends again and solved her friendship problem. I was so happy that I was able to help. You're going to like Smarty Pants. You're going to like her more than anything, Twilight said. She cast the want it, need it spell on me.
Right.
There you go, Twilight.
I'm going to put a mark there. Want it, need it. I'm going to put a mark over here.
Want to pretend that she's doing her homework, Twilight said. So she's great.
CMC. Because I'm just about halfway, and I have to admit that I'm starting to get really tired, and I want to have the brain power to do something creative in this section, and I think it's time to admit that I've reached the end of the peak of my energy, and I'm apparently supposed to have a nap before I start work at midnight. I don't know if I will be able to, but I need to stop trying to be creative when I guess the hire has finished or whatever. So I think I'm going to label this as part 1 in the little editing the audio for the Ballad of part 1. And then I think I should really consider doing the rest of this tomorrow after I've had a sleep. And I've actually got to get back onto a tradition of going to work at midnight until 7 a.m. each day. And I'm going to have to adjust to that. So as much as it's been great to be so productive and build my confidence at being live on stream, yeah, I think it's time to finish it for now. I'm really looking forward to getting my channel several episodes ahead. Although I've had a couple of really big episodes recently of more than 20 minutes or whatever. Yeah, I'm not sure why I keep babbling on. I've just got to go. So, let's just do the ending. See, my ability to think is kind of slurring now. Other. And let's end it. Do.
It's the Mystery Pony Fiction Channel. Mystery. Also available as a podcast on Spotify. Pony. And Izzy Moonbow is best pony, by the way. Fiction. Bro, hoof, comment, subscribe.